folks. We are here. This is the pilot episode for Brotherly Love, and here's my co-host, my brothers in arms for our episodes that we're going to be doing here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation, Mr. Luther Broughton. Luther, appreciate you hopping on here. Let's get to this thing. We're going to have some fun, my friend. Right?
Hey man, what's happening, man? Happy Friday. I hope it's payday Friday for everyone listening. What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. Obviously, we're doing our pilot episode here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation, Brotherly Love. We're gonna do things a little differently. Obviously, got the love for Philadelphia, got the former Eagle on here with us, and we're gonna talk about everything involving football and talk about our brothers on the field, our fans off the field, our brothers in arms there and stuff like that. We're gonna have different media personalities hop on with us. We're gonna have some fans hop on with us. We're gonna have some athletes hop on with us too at some point in time. But overall, we're gonna keep it fun. We're gonna keep it exciting, and we're gonna have some fun talking about everything going on in the world of football, man.
All right, sounds good, man.
So I guess how I'll kick this one off. I guess the man that's the talk of the football world right now. It obviously has to be Prime, right? Gotta be Coach Prime. He's killing it right now, right?
Yeah, Prime has actually put a fire in the college sports world, college football sports world. Look, I know there's a lot of talk about Prime. You know how brash Prime is. Prime is going to talk his talk. But the one thing about Prime, especially on that football field, he always walked the walk, right? And look at what he's doing at Colorado. People don't might not like it because he's doing things a little differently, but he's not doing anything illegally. He's in a perfect time. Uh, it's a perfect time. Timing is everything. It's perfect time for Prime to be a head coach with the NIL in the transfer portal. He's a recruiter. In college football. One of the biggest parts of that game is recruiting, and that's being a salesman. And he's able to sell his program, the excitement. What can I offer these kids? And look, the kids on that football field. Of course, we see a lot of Shador and Shiloh. They're actually his kids. But it looks like the other kids on that team will run through a wall for him. When you have that, you have a chance. When you have that, you have a chance. You can have all the talent in the world. Let's take some of our Chip Kelly teams. And it seems like the guys didn't want to run through a wall for Chip. They were running for each other. They were playing for their brothers, but seems like guys didn't want to run through a wall for Chip, man.
Yeah, you see, you hear that sentiment ring even more over the past few years. Interviews coming out with Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick. Michael Vick sitting there talking about being in a cryo chamber, just crying because Chip Kelly had ruined his season. It's just one of these things, and Chip did things one way, and didn't translate well to the NFL. But I completely agree with you that Prime is coming in at a right time. He's completely changed not just the program in Colorado, but the whole culture, what's going on there, everything. People are upset. Oh, the fans ran the feud last week. It was it was
So
a nothing
what?
game.
I mean,
It was
they
their
they
rival.
won they
Why
they
are people
won
getting
they
upset
won
about
one game
people being
last year. Like, so what? They won one game last year. People have go up in arms because Clemson fans rush the field every game, and that's actually tradition at Clemson. They meet at the paw. The Tiger Paws in the middle field. It's called meeting at the paw. They meet at the paw, and the players all take pictures, sign autographs, and all that stuff. That's a tradition at Clemson, right? Not a tradition at Colorado, but hell, maybe they'll make it a tradition. Listen, that team hasn't been really good since Mike McCarthy. I said Mike McCartney. Mike McCartney is my old agent. His dad is Bill McCartney. That team hasn't been worth a doggone since Bill was there, right? Bill McCartney had that program. They won a championship under Bill. Bill, remember Salinesi before he passed away. Charles Johnson at quarterback. Darren Holloway. Wait, was Charles Johnson at quarterback. Then our Charles Johnson that passed away last year, who played for the Eagles. He was part of some of their teams. So listen, man, I Dion has another thing that Dion has done, and let's be honest, the entire black community is behind Dion because they like seeing a black head coach and a Power Five team do well. And he's got the entire black community behind him. You look on social media, everyone's Colorado this, Buff that, and I'm like, dude, you don't even know where Colorado is. But he's done it, and that's the point. That makes a difference. You bring interest in your program, you bring money to your program, your university, you sell out the stadium, and that sells recruits, Like I said earlier, the name of the game in college football is recruiting. Listen, Dion is doing his thing. I don't know how long he is for Colorado because I believe if he continues to do things the way he's been doing it, the NFL will come calling. But let's see how it goes.
You literally you took it right from me there, Luther, because there's already been. I think I seen it yesterday. It was like they're like, how long before the NFL comes calling? I mean, he completely changed everything down there at Jackson State in the few years he was there. He's not even 3 games in here yet, and everything's completely changing there in Colorado. If that's the type of culture and environment that he's going to bring, I'm sure we're not even going to be talking 3 years before the NFL is going to be beating his door down, ripping it off the hinges.
Because look at what he does, man. He is the CEO of that team. You don't see him out there meddling with the defense and meddling with the offensive coordinator. He lets those guys do their things. Will he step in when he has to? Of course he will. He's a Hall of Famer. He knows the game. But, I was up last week watching a freaking Colorado State game at almost 2:00. That just wasn't going to happen not even a year ago. I'm not watching Colorado State unless I'm a degenerate gambler and I've got money on all the games this week. So that's good for college football, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not a Dion sycophant. He's got those people who will ride or die with him everywhere. He was a former Dallas Cowboy. Boo! But
here's the thing too.
Watching him grow the program.
It's not just that. He's also getting other former NFL players buying in. Like, guess what? Warren Sapp's going to be his defensive coordinator next year.
Well, he's saying he wants to be his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, well, I heard that.
Does Dion want him
to make that happen?
Does Dion want him to be his coordinator? His D-line coach. So we'll see. But you're going to hear a whole lot of things.
Yeah, you're going to. He's going to get a whole lot of people involved, not only in the program, but like. As we said, like as this thing continues to grow, as Dion continues to be successful and things of that nature, because that's the other thing too. Like if we're talking about everything, he's still winning too right now. He's winning. Listen, when this episode's there, we're going to be talking about what's going to be happening with them in Oregon this week because that's already in the headlines.
I tell you what. There are a lot of people happy for Dion, but there are a lot of people just right here waiting for the downfall, right? Oh, yeah. They're dying for that first loss. So they could say see. But he's already tripled the amount of wins from last year. Everyone said this was going to be a 3-win team, 3 to 4 win team. Guess what? He's got them in the top 20. Let's see what goes against Oregon this weekend.
Like I said, that's gonna be the fun matchup. Would you feel like he's gonna sneak out of there with another dub?
Listen, man, I'm not gonna doubt that, man. I'm not gonna doubt it. I thought that they maybe play. No, it's a rivalry game, but maybe they played a little down to their competition last week. If they they, they didn't play that well overall last week. They're lucky that Colorado State had. Didn't they have like almost 10 personal fouls, 10 15-yard penalties? That
Big
they
penalties that kept them in the game.
and they kind of choked at the end. But guess what? Colorado choked them. You know what I'm saying? Colorado had to go on a 98-yard drive with less than 2 minutes left to put that game in overtime. And Shador Sanders, I mean, he had ice in his veins. He didn't have his top receiver, who's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. Travis Hunter, also their top defensive player, and he walked out there like he was Tom freaking Brady and just walked them up the field. Up the field. Colorado State stopped being aggressive, and that's the way to lose a game. Uh, but that's a shout out to Colorado and how well coached they are. Look at their coaching staff. They've got some people on that staff. Isn't
Yeah,
like Pat Shermer on that staff? Mike Zimmer on that staff or a consultant?
something to
I
that
mean,
effect. I
those
believe.
are
Yeah. So
if
he's
their
got
their
he's
their
got some guys
offensive
with him.
coordinator was Kent State's head coach last year. Listen, man, the man can recruit. The man can recruit, and when you
He
can
can,
recruit players
and
and coaches, you can win football games in
it's
college.
definitely going to be
Let's just
fun. It's definitely going to be fun watching them. It's going to be fun watching this team play and continue to grow, and watch them climb up the standings. I do believe he definitely has got a top 15 team on his hands.
he's got them believing, and good for them, man. Good for them.
That's half the battle right there.
That's half the battle. If you believe, dude, if
You
you walk out
you
there
get a
with the
bunch of kids
belief,
like
you've
that
got
to
a
believe.
chance.
That's half the battle.
You've got a chance, right?
And speaking of battles, let's quick dip into the game last week, and obviously rough start for our birds, right? Rough start for our birds the first few weeks.
Listen,
Sloppy win down there in Foxborough. You
a
come
win
back to
is a
prime
win,
time
man.
next week, and the defense bails you out again the first half
Do,
until
do,
they figured out, hey, wait. We do have running backs that can run the ball besides Jalen Hurts, right? Oh,
well,
okay.
right, right. I don't know what. Listen, hindsight is 2020. I am a couch coach, but whatever. That's what we're doing. We're talking about football. We're not saying we can do a job better than the coaches. I just don't understand how you have a new offensive coordinator and you don't get reps in the preseason. You they went into games 1 and 2 as if they were preseason games. You can't do that in the NFL. If you lose those games, they count. If you lose in the preseason, they don't count. Are you worried about injuries? Well, it's
I
football.
think
You
that
got to
is the
play
thing.
football. You have to play. You have to get more than a couple drives in the preseason, especially with the new coordinator. We're not a team with an eighth-year quarterback who's had the same coordinator for 6, 7 years, and it
Everything
just
they sold us
frustrated
on
me.
between Jalen and this guy, I don't see it yet. At least passing
Well,
wise, he
it's
doesn't. It looks like he doesn't know how to use them running the ball. He doesn't
we
know
don't.
when like the the things that normally was clicking last year. It
We're
just
not
seems a
doing
total
any of it.
mess.
It looks stale. It looks like the first few weeks of training camp. We're just running basic stuff. The amount of called runs for the quarterback really frustrates me, man. Stop all the called run for the quarterbacks. And what happened to the read options and whatnot? Why isn't Dallas Goddard involved more in the offense in the middle of the field? What are we doing? Why are we running so many of those little quick passes to the outside, quick screens? It's listen. I don't know if I can say the defense bailed us out last week. I think we finally started running the ball last week, and Justin Jefferson had that huge fumble. I don't know if the defense bailed us out. I
That's a
thought the
big momentum
defense
Swift. You just talked about
gave,
that
yeah,
move right there.
they
That the
gave up a
Justin
lot.
Jefferson fumble and then the Jake Elliott 61-yarder field goal
Yard field
to,
goal.
to,
That
to,
was
to give you that
huge.
bump
Give
that
you
really helped.
momentum back. That's you win the end of the halves. That's huge, and that's what the Eagles have done for the past few years. You know, I flew up for the game last week, and I was near that end zone, and I called it immediately, and I said, "Man, we are so lucky." He fumbled over the pylon, and the guy sitting next to me was like, "Oh no, he fumbled out of bounds." I'm like, from my vantage point, I think it's clear he fumbled over the pylon. We just got lucky, right? And of
I
course,
seen
the
that at home.
replay,
I'm like, that's over the pylon. I'm like, that's a touchback. That's a
like
touchback.
from another angle, it didn't look so, but from my angle, I was like right here, near that goal line, and you could see it going inside of the pylon. So we got lucky. And then you go in the second half, like towards the end of the game on defense and giving up those plays. And that happens when you have injuries at the cornerback position. But
The
can you
Avonte
answer me
Madison
this
injury was
question?
felt immediately.
Immediately. But here's my next thing is, why are we ignoring the linebacker position? Why do we think we could just put anyone in there? Dude, oh man. Like the Baltimore Ravens drafted that kid from Clemson in like the third round. Oh God, what is his name? And I was dying for us to do it, and one of my buddies said, "Dude, we're not drafting a linebacker. We think we always just pick a guy up off the scrap heap. Why do we do that, man?
I don't
Why
know.
are we doing that? We're not
never actually.
deep at the position."
I can't remember a time where we're just like they value the position. I mean, we drafted Trot and like that he was a great guy for a good period of time, and then
Hell, we let him walk before we got Trot back.
let Trot walk to Washington. It sickened me.
Yeah.
Then you get guys.
That's what I'm talking about.
You get Hicks. He's now in Minnesota. He was now in
We let him walk.
Arizona.
We let Hicks walk after drafting him. Listen.
We just did the same thing to TJ Edwards, right?
Listen, man. I know we can't pay everybody. I'm not one of those fools who thinks that we can pay and keep everyone. I know we're a crazy fan base, and I love it. But we've got to invest a little in that position. I think it's going to come back to bite us in the ass.
Here's the question, right? You're saying we need to invest in it. Do you go in this offseason go after baby Axeman?
I mean, you go after the best guy available. I'm biased because I'm a huge Clemson fan. I'm biased. Let's just call it like it is. I'm a huge Clemson fan, but I think you need a guy. I think you go out and sign a veteran. If you have the opportunity to draft Jeremiah, that's great. Clemson has two young linebackers that can play, Trotter and Barrett. What's Barrett's last name? I forgot his last name. But they're both top 40 guys in the draft. And I would love to see Trot's son come back.
Yeah, that'd be great to see.
That would be great, but I want us to shore up that damn position, man.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. Nakobe gets nicked up, and
that sucks.
You had to already bring in Zach off the street. You bring in another guy that this week off of the practice squad slash free agent trash heap right now to kind of fill positions. Now here's the other side of this. We're seeing. You got injuries in the middle. You got injuries on the back end. Is the Wizard Howie going to pull something off here in the next few weeks? Do you feel something coming?
Unless Howie is a surgeon, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what we can do there. I don't know if we panic in week 3.
I don't say panic, but we feel like he's getting ready to do something.
But let me finish my thought process. I don't think you panic in the first 2 weeks if we just got out of a draft. We got out of a draft. We drafted some guys. You have to see if those guys can actually play before you make a panic move and go trade draft picks to go get a guy and you just spent draft picks on guy. See if they can play. Look, the kid got beat for a deep ball last week. Was it Ricks?
Eric Ricks or Eli
No, it
Ricks,
was. No, it wasn't. It was the other
or was
guy
it
from
Joe?
Joe. Joe got beat for a deep ball, but he was kind of in position there to make a play, make the tackle. Listen, everyone gets beat on deep balls. I'm not. I haven't watched. I don't watch film. I don't know how he played the rest of the game. We can't. I won't base it on one play. I don't know how he did the rest of the game. But let those guys get a chance to play. Because if Avonte Maddox didn't get a chance to play, he would have been out of the league. We gave him a chance to play, and we were like, wait, we got something here.
Yeah, this kid can play. Hold on a
This
second.
kid can play. Let the guys play and see what happens. What I
Like, yeah, you
really
still
would
got
like to do.
young corners, young safeties.
We have young corners and young safeties. We don't have anything at linebacker. If I want him to do anything, is possibly make a move for a backer. But who's available? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's just chilling and they're really good. We're not getting any Greenlaw from San Francisco. We're not getting any of those guys. So what do? Maybe who is it? Smith from Baltimore, who hadn't re-signed. Not Smith, Queen. Maybe
Yeah.
someone like Queen because they just drafted another linebacker potentially replace him. They just paid Roquan Smith. I don't know if they paid Queen. Maybe he becomes available. Look at the Panthers. The Panthers don't have any excess. The Panthers are pretty stacked at linebacker, but they just had a guy go down for the season. Shaq Thompson just hurt himself. That's one less guy available. I don't know, but I said it in the offseason. I wish we had done more at this position because we seem light at the position. Again, I'm not a freaking know-it-all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not running a team. Howie knows what the hell he's doing, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
hated the fact that we didn't do a lot at that position. I didn't like that. But hey, we'll see. It's week 2 and when you have some improvements to make and you're 2-0, that's a much better pill to swallow. You know who'd like to be 2-0 right now after not playing that well? Cincinnati would love to be 2-0. They'd love to be 1-1. Minnesota would love to have a win under their belt. Who else is 0-2? The Chargers would love to have a win under their belt. We have not played well. We have not played bad teams, and we won the games. Did we give the Patriots too much of a chance to win? Absolutely. Mac Jones got hot, but we won the game. Last week, the game wasn't as close as the final score. Let's just put that out there, right? But the score is the score. If Minnesota gets the ball and goes down the field, then we lose. But we won. When you can win the games that are close games and put you in a tough situation, when you win those games, it's much better to sleep, studying the film, and making corrections.
Let's be real. If it wasn't for this man right here, DeAndre Swift, it was going to be a different song. And what a homecoming for that guy, right?
What he had a heck of a game, but we made a concerted effort to run the freaking ball because they hadn't stopped the run the entire game. But guess what we had to do? We had to try to force the ball into some receivers' hands. And maybe they were griping, but you don't have to do that. If they can't stop the run for 500 freaking yards and throw for 50. Who cares? The number that matters is the number under that W. And we got another one of those this week, so that's important. But I'd like to see
running back by committee with this team, right?
Right. I'd like to see us get better on offense, but getting better at while you're 2-0 feels good.
Yeah, exactly. Getting better while you're still don't got a donut in the loss column is a good feeling to have. You know, I guess one thing we were already talking about the injuries, man. The NFL has been getting ladled with it already, man. And
Bro,
this week, obviously,
bro,
no
bro.
different. We lost Avante Maddox to a season-ending injury. C.J. Gardner Johnson, same injury. He gets going out. We lost Aaron Rodgers already, and then we get Nick Chubb, man, and unfortunate, man. It's same leg, same injury he had in college. That's a rough one. A lot of people were upset about uh, the Micah engaging him low while the tackle was going on. People,
Bro, that
Browns
happens.
fans were letting him have it. What
That
what are what are your
happens.
thoughts about going after Micah for that?
It's you mean Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yeah,
I think I don't think that's a dirty play. I think guys do it all the time. You run in there and you hit a guy low. He wasn't intentionally going after his knee. The fans are going nuts because he got hurt. I don't know if that's a dirty play. DBs hit low all the time. DBs can't hit here. They can barely hit here. They can't hit here. They have this much room to hit a guy.
and then when they do it the other way, they're getting stiffed on the ran over by guys like Nick.
Or they're getting a $50,000 fine for. Listen, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hate it for Nick Chubb. I absolutely hate it for Chubb, but I don't know if Fitzpatrick. If that was a dirty play, you would hear more NFL guys saying it was dirty. You would hear more pundits saying it was dirty. I saw pictures of the hit because I was warned about it before I was at the Panthers game and I was warned about the hit and how brutal it looked. So I didn't watch it. I saw the pictures and I heard about, he came flying in low. That's what happens. It
That's
sucks,
what
man.
corners and
It
safeties
sucks.
do when
It
multiple
sucks.
guys are engaging a running back and they're holding high. They have to go, hip thigh area,
Yeah, I listen. I can't make
and especially when it's a play like
a
that, it's just rough.
full opinion on it since I hadn't seen the play. I'm gonna say that, but I don't know if it was that bad. Even talking to other guys, I don't know if it was a dirty play. I know it stinks though.
I didn't think it was
That
dirty. I just think
I
it
heard
was.
that guy might need 2 surgeries this time.
It's rough.
Same knee, man.
That's what I
Same
said. The
knee.
same knee he did in college. I think it was 2015. Man,
Same knee,
the
man.
odds. So the same leg, same knee.
That's almost like the kid Marcus Lattimore from South Carolina. He got that his knees torn up, man, and he couldn't play anymore. He's gonna be a first rounder. Injuries
It's
suck. And what really bothers me are people that share injuries. Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and people were like, you know, they're
what
like
I was made
sharing
out like
it.
the people are going like the political side. Oh, that's what happens because you didn't get vaxxed. I'm like, oh my god, you freaking idiots! Like it doesn't matter.
Well,
A guy's
that
now no
stuff.
longer allowed to perform.
I don't think that's worth my energy. That's the
Yeah, exactly.
stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like that's
Block and
not worth my
bruise.
energy.
Just
Like
block and bruise.
I don't even give that the time of day. Like that doesn't make sense. Whether you like him or not, whether you like his politics or not, sharing a guy sharing a guy or girl's injury in a sporting event because you're not a fan of that team or maybe that person that you don't even know them. But I'll say individually, like come
I mean, I
on,
even
like
think a lot
that.
of Eagles fans have kind of lightened up with that. I've seen a whole lot of Eagles fans give their thoughts out to Mr. Diggs yesterday
But
after
that's
bringing
what
up his
normal
ACL.
people freaking does, man. Like I don't care. I don't care if they play for the Al Qaeda team. Like, well, I mean that might be a little bit over the top, But if you're in a sporting event and you're going against another guy and that guy has a brutal injury, like you're not cheering. You're not cheering that the guy tore his ACL. You're not clapping yes. Like that's weak, man. That's weak. I don't like that whatsoever. I
Yeah,
find that to
I'm
be
not a fan of
illegal.
it. Especially when it's bad, something that's season ending and anything like that. Like
Right.
it doesn't have a place in today's sports to
Listen,
be
if
fandom
you
anything like that.
you run through the middle and somebody trucks you and knocks your behind out for a few plays, hey, I'm talking trash, especially if I'm the guy doing the running, right? If I hit a guy and the guy freaking breaks his leg, I'm not talking trash. Like this isn't UFC. I'm not trying to kick your shin and break your leg. Like so yeah.
It's
But
we're
the injuries this season have been brutal, right? Just like you said,
yeah, and,
started
and
with Aaron Rodgers. You got Nick Chubb. You've got Diggs from Dallas. You've got Avante Maddox. You've got Shaq Thompson from the Panthers. You've got someone else got hurt. The
CJ
list
Gardner
goes.
Johnson from the Lions.
CJ, well, he's back. I mean,
And
he's
he had a
playing.
rough one because before the game, he lost a lifelong best friend. So
Yeah,
before the game, had a personal thing where one of his longtime friends passed away. Then during the game, tears his pec.
yeah.
His season's done.
No, his season's not done.
I thought they said he.
CJ Gardner,
I thought he had the same injury that Avante has. He tore his pec
when?
during the game Sunday.
I don't think that's accurate, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. You might. I seen something that he tore the pec during the game. I didn't see anything about him going in for surgery yet, but
I mean, you could be right. That is crazy.
yeah, man, it's just but it goes back to what we were just talking about. Like we're getting on
Oh
the Eagles. You got
shit.
a whole new coaching staff, defensive staff. You need to get reps during preseason, and we're cited like we all know it's the injury thing. Then you go look at the other side of it. I mean, it is a real thing, but
Yeah,
it's just like what we
but
talk
playing
about
football,
with
that's
athletes.
part of
Like
it.
ring rust is a real thing. You have to get your reps in. You have to put them in. But this is the other side of it.
Holy
You're going to have
shit.
injuries
Yeah, you're
start the
right.
game.
He's out. He's out. He's out. I
Oh,
was talking about his preseason injury. I missed
no.
that.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
that's rough, right?
Oh man. Dude,
And again, contract year, it's really rough situation for CJ, and a lot of fans were upset with him afterwards. I'm wishing him the best, man. Seriously, that's a bad spot.
wow. Yeah, let's knock on wood, man. Hopefully you can keep some guys healthy, man. Jesus.
It's I mean, man, you've seen it. Guys can it's the injury bug runs through the NFL every year. Every team gets hit with it.
I
But
just
I mean, it's been kind of crazy lately.
somebody else from their running back got hurt. The guy they signed from the Bears.
Oh,
The
David
Lions.
Montgomery.
Montgomery got hurt as well. He might be back in 2 or 3 weeks, but he got hurt as well. I know that because I have Jahmyr Gibbs on my fantasy team. Um,
And then speaking of
wow.
running backs running around, you got Cam Akers is no longer a Ram. He's in Minnesota
Dude,
now.
what's his deal? Why is every year he's either getting traded or wants to get traded or whatever? Like, what's
I don't
his
know.
deal?
I seen
He's not even a
some tweet
stud.
that had something to do with I mean I think it was a spoof tweet, but it was something about he's leaving because he was along the lines of Jared Goff and having eyes on McVay's wife or something. I was like, that's got to be BS.
Wow.
But either way, man, I mean, just you're seeing what's going on down there in LA. They're not in a good spot. I mean, Aaron Donald's already thrown the R word around. Jared Goff's looking fairly decent there in Detroit, and Stafford looks like he's falling apart.
Well, they got what they wanted. They got a Super Bowl out of it. So
That's
if
true. I
you
mean,
if you
that's what
say
you wanted
that
after
if
all,
you
right?
say right if you say your window's open for a Super Bowl and you're gonna do what you need to do to win a Super Bowl and you win a Super Bowl, I'm not mad. They weren't building down the line. They
Yeah,
were building
they were
because
building for
they thought
now.
their window open.
Yep.
And I'm fine with that. If you think your window's open and you go all out and you actually win the thing, you did what you set out to do. It's not like they gave up all those picks and didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They won the damn thing. So good for them.
And actually, they've actually won it because they won the Super Bowl because Detroit actually hasn't even won a playoff game. So,
well, I mean, but it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. They gave up. Detroit isn't the only team they traded. They gave up picks to. They gave picks to Detroit. They gave numerous picks to Jacksonville for
Ramsey.
For Ramsey, who they actually traded for not much. What the other team has done with those picks, I don't think that factors in. Because if the Rams kept those picks, it's what they would have done with those picks. I don't know if that factors in because the other team may or may not have screwed the picks. The fact is, you gave the picks up and they're gone. They're no longer yours.
Yeah, they're gone.
You said, I think I'm going to win the Super Bowl, and they freaking won the Super Bowl. I say they won. I say they won regardless of what happens. They can rebuild now, but they got the damn Super Bowl that they thought that window was open for. And they walked right out of that window, grabbed that trophy, and brought it back in the house. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that.
You think Akers is going to help Minnesota this season into a playoff push?
I don't think he's that good. I think they would have dumped him anyways. The reason he might work a little for Minnesota because Minnesota got rid of Dalvin Cook for money, and Madison is their running back. He had a tough game against Philly. He had a bad fumble or what have you. But is Akers any good? Has he done anything in the league? I'm not.
I mean, the fact that everyone talks about from the Rams, out of the last handful of years, everyone's talking about is Gurley. It's not Akers.
Right, whatever, man. Let him go. Yeah. Some guys are your team is better off without him. You hear about this guy griping every week. It's not like you're talking about Christian McCaffrey griping. You're talking about a Jag. He's just another guy at this point. Like, whatever. Maybe he does something in Minnesota to resurrect his career, but whatever. Why are we talking about that guy? That's what I'm saying. Well, why are we talking about that guy? That's how I feel about him. Right.
Let's talk a little Monday Night Football, brother. We got Monday Night Football. We got Eagles and Bucks, right?
Another road game.
Another road game. Feels like we're going to spend more time on the road this season than we are going to be at home, and that's for sure. But
that's fine as long as we can get road tested.
That's how.
And it's a night game. It's not a day game in Florida. It's hot as hell in Florida. It's not a day game in Florida. It's still gonna be hot, but at least it's not a day game. We better not play around with Tampa Bay because their confidence level is high right now.
Yeah, Baker's got them believing down there.
Right, and they've got some receivers. You know what I'm saying? When you have a team that has some receivers and you've got injuries on the back end, that could present a problem.
And you're not getting home. Like, as much as we're getting pressure, we're not getting the sacks. We're not getting the sacks. Hasn't registered a sack yet. You know what I mean?
But here's one thing I do like about that. Teams are chucking the ball out of there for 4-5 yard passes because of our pass rush. We're getting to the quarterback. We're hitting the quarterback. It's not like we're almost getting there on 7-step drops. We're getting there on 3 to 5 step drops, right? That's going to come to fruition. I'm cool with our pass rush right now. We might not be getting home, but I think that's going to come to fruition, and we're going to start getting that quarterback on the ground. Uh, what I that's not I don't have a worry about our pass rush. I have a worry about the opposite side of the field. I want to know what we're doing in the passing game, and Jalen looks rusty, but I just don't think it's him. I think it's play calling, man.
So you're not buying this McNabb report this week that Jalen's only like 55 to 70% healthy from his shoulder injury last season.
He might be unhealthy. It's not. I'm not. I hadn't heard the report. He might not be healthy. He might not be healthy. Who knows? His arm strength isn't the problem. It's the decision making and the play calling. And I see some of Jalen's plays where he's just standing in there and not getting the ball out or not running when the opportunity's there. He's taking for it's like he's doing the thing.
It's like he's in a fog and he's not.
It's like
it's not clicking like it did last year, you know?
Right. But Five started doing that too. Donovan would sit in that pocket even though we're like, man, this dude is so dynamic. He could scramble and get 15 at any play. He wanted to sit in the pocket and make the throws, which you love, right?
But sometimes
Jalen's overdoing it.
Right
it's
there,
like
Donnie.
Jalen. There's 5 yards right there. Run, slide, and let's go. Don't throw the ball out of bounds. And he's taking sacks. I've seen him run out of bounds for losses this year. And I'm like, dude, that's a team sack. That's considered a sack. Dude, throw the ball away, throw the ball down the field, or run. If you don't want to get hit, then you redo your contract.
I don't think it's a thing about him getting hit, but I do agree that he's not making decisions like he did last year.
He's not playing well. He's not playing well. It's still early in the season. He's not playing well. He looks to me like he's extremely
if this is the worst
rusty.
We're going to get from him, I'd rather have it now than later.
Right. He looks extremely rusty. I don't like the way we look. If this continues to go on, you know how it is. It's not an anomaly if it keeps going on. It's a problem. So we'll see, man. I mean, the guy we had calling plays is a freaking head coach right now. So that's important to recognize. But it's still early. But boy, once week 4 hits and we still look like that, I'm kind of freaking out, man.
Yeah, man. It's one of these things where, like I said, one of the things you sold us on this relationship this offseason is this guy knows Jalen. It should be a seamless transition. It don't look seamless.
But that's the thing. I couldn't stand that whole point of view of he knows Jalen. That doesn't matter. Jalen isn't the only guy on the offense. Do you know the offense? Do you know play calling? Do you know how to offset what Belichick is going to do on the other side? So the fact that he knows Jalen, that's fine. Let's get play calling together. I don't care who you know. Let's get play calling together.
I'm with you. We need not just the decision making, but we need to get other guys that it looks like the team that we had the year before AJ Brown came in. That's what we look like the first 2 weeks.
I mean, we can we run a regular I'm about to F-bomb. Can we run a regular screen? Can we just run a normal running back screen? We had to run a screen all season. You don't go 2 full games football, right? To run and not run a regular screen. And I'm gonna tell you what, the interior of the line is not getting any push. We're supposed to have the best offensive line in football, but
they're not getting that pass push.
But we might not be as good as we think we are. So that could be another part of it. We got to get it together, man. You got to rep it, and hopefully he learns from this. You got to rep in the preseason games. You got to get some reps, man. Unless you're coming off of surgery, you got to rep, man. But
at least the first two games, man. Come on.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how we how we start to click, how we start to click, because I was pretty irritated that game on Thursday night. I'm sitting there, we're winning, and I look like a kid whose parent told him they couldn't have another box of candy. I
Well,
was so irritated how we
we see
finished.
our team puttering like a like our favorite muscle car, and it's only like firing on four cylinders.
Exactly.
Like what
Exactly.
is wrong? You're supposed to be doing something, and you're not doing it right, and you know how to do it.
Right. I just want us, and I thought we were getting there, and then we let them back in. I would have loved to just fit, and it was tough that they took AJ Brown's touchdown off the board. That was an absolute shit call. That was an absolute shit call. And
It was
then
a
the
bang
next
bang thing. Like, yeah, he beat him, but like as he was going by him, he let him go.
he let him go.
He
That
let him
wasn't
go.
holding.
Like
And
he like
then
already has me beat, and he let him go.
right, and the very next play
Play
was
was
interference.
the pass interference that
Was
he called.
pass interference. They got the ball and they scored. That was a huge difference in the game. So, but man, I don't know, man.
So what I feel like on this one, like what I'm feeling for Tampa Bay on Monday night, I'm feeling a 34-21 victory down there Monday Night Football.
I don't know why I'm feeling a low scoring game, bro. I'm feeling a pretty low scoring game. I, I, I'm thinking we win 24-10, 27-13, something like that. I'm picking the under. I don't know what the over under is. Of course, the game is going to end up being 70-50. Now that I say that, so if you got betters listening, don't listen to me.
Yeah, right.
Don't have me lose your money. I
Me,
feel a low
me and
scoring
Luther
game,
going
man.
from the heart.
Yeah, I feel a low. I feel some running go. What's going to happen in this game?
Yeah, I
I
do.
feel a defensive game, and we're going to pound the ball and keep it low. But who knows? I just want a W, man.
Yeah, I want to, I want a nice performance on both sides of the balls.
I want to see
If we
what
get some
those. I want to
turnovers,
see what
some
those
sacks, and
backups
things
do.
like that, that'll be great. But
Like you said, I really want to see what those the backups in the secondary does. I hope they get it to
especially
get
against these guys, man,
right.
everyone
Mike,
sleeps on Tampa. They got a nice wide receiver crew.
yeah, we'll see.
We will see, but as we're getting ready to put a bow on our pilot episode this week, Luther, any last comments or thoughts before we put an end on it?
Yeah, man. My last comments of this week is let's see if we can get some fire up our ass on offense this week. I don't know how PG this show is supposed to be, but I want to see some fire up our ass on offense, man. That's what I want to see. That's
Yes,
all I want to see. I want to see us come out
we've seen it.
strong.
We've seen the fire from the defense. We've seen the fire from the special teams. Want to see it out of our passing game because we know we can run the ball. We've been a running team for I don't know how long, almost 10 years.
I don't care if the fire comes in the run game. I want the offense to be consistent. I want us to be able to complete a third and 15 if we need to, and not be fooling around and just taking shots to get guys the ball. I want our offense to get a flow and get going.
I'm definitely with you there. Good overall team win. Let's get out of there injury free and
Yes.
continue along the trek of the beginning of the season. These wins are important. You got to stack them up early, man.
You got to stack them up early.
Especially these road wins. As we were talking about, the road tested teams are typically the ones that win come January and February. So
Yep.
Let's do it, boys. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We're gonna be airing this Saturday, so make sure you guys are tuning in for college football, tuning in for pro football, and make sure you're catching us back here next week. This was the pilot episode for the Brotherly Love episode. Steve Rochelle, Luther Broughton. We'll catch you guys next week.